All right, good evening, everybody, and welcome out to the Cruising Cali 130. It's a recruitment race here for the Speed Racing Network Truck Series. My name is Sean Griffith. I am here with my co-broadcaster, Timothy Latham. How's it going, Tim?
Well, pretty good. How are you doing tonight?
Man, doing absolutely wonderful. Glad to have you here in the booth with us. Tim is a champion driver. He is driving in our Cup Series. Absolutely phenomenal driver, both on fixed setups as well as on open setups in pretty much any car you put him in. So glad to have his knowledge here in the booth with us tonight.
I appreciate you having me. Hopefully, this recruitment race turns out to be a fun one to watch and commentate for.
Yeah, like I said, I mean, it is a recruitment race, so we just kind of don't know what we're going to get out of this race. We do have a few drivers that we know, but for the most part, all these guys are going to be brand new to us, so it should be kind of interesting to see, will somebody kind of move to the forefront and possibly join this league and get a team sponsorship, that sort of thing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of guys in here, which a lot of guys in the league I really don't know too much about, but there's a lot of newcomers I see in here. So we'll see if they can give our current guys a run for their money and see who can come out with this win.
Well, we do have 65 laps to figure it all out tonight. We do have two fast repairs in the truck league, and that's going to come into play because a lot of times when you're in the trucks, you're banging and bumping a little bit more than in the cup cars.
Yeah, these trucks are they're not as aero sensitive as the cup cars are. So and since this is a big sweeping track, it's gonna be very interesting to see how this plays out. I see a lot of 4 and 5 wide gonna happen tonight.
Well, we are here at Auto Club Speedway, which is one of the larger tracks on the circuit. It's not a super speedway, but it's right between a mile and a half and a super speedway. So, what do you know about this track?
Well, this track is a long, flat track. It's shaped almost like Michigan, just a little bit less banking. It's an older track. It hasn't been paved in a while, so expect these guys to get pretty loose off the jump. Maybe they'll get loose over the long run. I know I saw a few guys getting loose in practice, so we'll see if we can handle these trucks tonight.
Well, just to explain to everybody exactly what we have going on this season in Speed Racing Network, we've put together an entire series. So we've got a truck league, we've got an Xfinity league, and we have a cup league. And there's going to be money on the line. There's going to be all sorts of fun, but there's three different levels, three different sets of competition, basically three different everything. So it'll be a lot of fun to see people racing against people of their own caliber.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see with the truck series. We have the 1K to 2K iRatings, so drivers between that will be able to participate. It's not really it's not too high or too low of an iRating. I feel like it's a good range to show these newcomers here, and hopefully it gets interesting through the season. I know there's a lot of good guys in the other two series, so hopefully they can produce as good as racing as those.
Yeah, and in the truck series specifically, it's $5 a week to get in. We're running for 20 weeks on Wednesday nights, fixed setup. So basically, everybody's coming to the track with the same truck. We don't have to worry too much about that. But $300 first place to the season-long winner, as well as a $100 team championship out there for grabs as well.
Yeah, and the team championship aspect, that's one of the things that you really don't see with most of the leagues. A lot of times you'll just see prizes for either per race or at the end of the season. So that's an interesting thing too, to see teams trying to work together to get a team championship.
Yeah, I mean, and the five-person team, so I mean, you can get a good little team together, and one other thing that we've got going on, especially just here in the preseason, is also the Hard Charger Award, sponsored by Sparkle and Shine Auto Detailing, and so this basically will go $10 will go to the person that improves his position on the track the most during this race. So something that a lot of leagues don't do.
Yeah, that's one of the things that's unheard of too. Not a lot of leagues do anything like that either. And since we have that award, I do think some people might try to qualify in the back or just not qualify at all, and try to go to the front and get that award. $10 is $10.
Yeah, I mean, you being a racer, and I think I know the answer to this just because I know you. But would you rather qualify up front, or would you rather go in the back and try to get that $10?
It really depends on the situation. I don't know how these guys are. You gotta feel your drivers out and see how they race first. But if I know how they race and I know what to do when I'm around them, yeah, I might try to do that a few times to get that $10.
Well, we've got a lot of racers out there that are not yet on a team, and so this is going to be a good moment for team owners to figure out what these guys are all about and possibly make some offers after this race for them to come in and join that team. So let's talk about the teams just a little bit. So let's start off with Bronco Motorsports. And Tim, I don't know if you remember this from last season, but Bronco Motorsports used to be Wild Bill Motorsports, and then they had a name change, logo change, and attitude change, and then all of a sudden they came to life last season.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know too much about these guys. I know with Bronco Motorsports, I know they're one of the bigger names in the series. I watched Mid South Madness and saw a few drivers, not these guys, but a few in the Xfinity series from last season. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys can carry that name on and contend for wins. Uh, but we have number 83 Blake Sperling, number 85 Cole Martin, number 86 Brian Crocker, number 87 Andrew Harris, and number 89 Doc Holliday.
Yeah, this team was put together by Chris Massey, and Chris is a really good judge of talent, so I think they're going to go a long way in this season. But don't look past Striker Motorsports. They actually won the Xfinity League last season, the team award for that. And so Travis Trevelyan took that team name, and he's bringing it here to the Truck Series, putting a team together around himself.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the same thing. These big names from last season coming back, and hopefully they can carry those names back to the victor circle.
Next up, another team that we had in Mid South Madness last season in that Xfinity League, but they've formed a team in the Truck Series. They're also racing in the Xfinity Series as well. But Tank Racing has put together Doug Hoy, Walter Lepicki, Josh Mueller, Bruce Amsden, and Jeremy Duncan. And I know a couple of these guys, or I've seen them race, and not really a bad team at all here.
Yeah, they seem like a good group of guys. I do recognize some names in there, and I've seen a few of them race in these recruitment races, and they're not a bad group of drivers at all. So it'd be interesting to see how they do this season too.
Next up, we got H2K Motorsports, and this is a team that last season was highlighted by just bad finishes. I mean, they are great drivers, just didn't have the finishes they wanted to, and they are going to have a couple of our guys from last season, Josh Witt and Justin Kruckman, kind of leading that team. But they've picked up David Swift, they've picked up Connor Frugate, they've picked up Caleb Urquhart. I think they've got a real chance to improve on what they did last season, which was like a ninth place finish.
Yeah, I do too. I feel like there's always teams and drivers that have bad races or bad years, and hopefully these guys can bounce back and be a contender. But yeah, a few of these guys I've seen them race too, and they're not a bad group of drivers either. So I'm going to be interested in this team as well.
Here's the team that I'm really, really looking at because this is a team that they have been practicing all off season. They have actually run an entire series to figure out who's going to be on this team. Rev Racing has come to play this year.
Absolutely, I recognize most of the names on this list here. I've raced with a few of these guys. I know how these guys are. This is one of those teams that could be a powerhouse this season.
Next up, the home team, the factory team, Team SRN, and don't ever look past the factory team. But Tevin Whitner, Taylor Smith, Matt Johnson, Corey Knight, Brad Yonkman. 4 of those 5 drivers drove in the Xfinity Series last season, and Taylor Smith actually made the playoffs there as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how these guys do too. You mentioned Taylor Smith, excuse me, made the playoffs last year. I'm sure they're hoping that all their drivers obviously can make the playoffs, but I feel like they can get up there and have multiple drivers in the chase this year.
Another brand new team this season is R&D Motorsports. So a couple of guys up from Nashville put this team together. So they're all about Tennessee, but they're all about getting out there and winning. But Corey Saucier, Kurt Vigent, Jason Kratke, and Trevor White. So they still have another spot available on this team. So it's possible they're looking for some talent out there today.
I feel like they have a good shot at finding some talent out here. There's a lot of drivers out here tonight. I feel like they can find their fifth pretty quickly. Like you said, they're a new team, so it's interesting to see how they can stack up against these veterans out here.
And last but certainly not least that we have for you tonight, this is Jonathan Byer Racing, so JBR. And Jonathan Byer himself is putting this team together, and he was a great racer last year in the Xfinity Series. I'm really, really intrigued to see how he does in the trucks. It's kind of a step down, isn't it?
You would think so, but all these series are really different from each other. They are the top 3 national series, but They are just completely different. I feel like it's more of a sidestep than anything. And I know a lot of guys would go to the Truck Series to kind of be more competitive than if they were in the Xfinity Series. And Jonathan Byer looks like he's putting together quite the group here. So it's interesting to see how they do this season.
Well, once again, if you're just joining us, so tonight we've got the Cruising Cali 130 recruitment race here at Auto Club Speedway. 65 laps to figure it all out. Got a couple fast repairs, so you don't have to be perfect tonight at all. But just remember that this season we have a lot of money going out. We gave out over $5,000 last season for the Xfinity League. We're expecting to give out about $15,000 this season for the Speed Racing Network Virtual Series.
Yeah, a lot of money on the line. As you already know, as people watching may know, I'm in the Cup Series, so I'm in the Top Dollar Series. We're gonna hopefully go out there and with Filthy Five Motorsports win the championship, the team championship, the driver championship. We won it all. And I know a lot of these drivers out here for this Truck Series and even the Xfinity Series, they won it all too. And we'll see what they can prove tonight in the recruitment race. I know, like I said, a lot of guys are looking for drivers. A lot of drivers are looking for teams. So expect some hard racing here tonight, and we'll see who comes out the winner.
Well, let's go out to the track right now. So qualifying has wrapped up, and it looks like Kyle Wimble from Jonathan Byer Racing is going to take our pole, and then Josh Mueller from Tank Racing is going to take the outside pole.
Yeah, and you see Byron McDonald in Revved Racing. That's one of the teams we mentioned earlier that could be a powerhouse. He's in third. We got Brandon Dominguez, looks like, in fourth place.
And then we got Mike Iao. I'm hoping I'm saying that correctly. So he's an independent. And then Walter Lepicki from Tank Racing up in sixth.
We have Jack Johnson for Jonathan Byer Racing in seventh, and Ernest Nichols in eighth as an independent driver.
Then we have Diego Roldan from an independent driver as well. Kevin Nobley is an independent driver also in 10th.
And rounding out the top 12, we have Andrew Klickner is an independent in 11th, and Adam Boltemeyer in 12th as an independent.
All right. Well, it looks like we are about to get started. Let's go down there to the track, and you can see the car or the trucks pulling off. I'm going to do that all night tonight. I am going to absolutely say car every single time I see a truck.
I do the same thing, and especially if the truck's a pace truck, I always call it a pace car.
And it looks like we've already got some people swerving around on pit road there.
Well, it looks like you got some people not going, some guys pulling off. I'm not sure what's going on.
I think we are going to get around one lap just to get everything sorted and situated, and then we are going to get to green. But we'll jump up front. Once again, Kyle Wimble is going to take our green flag to start us off tonight.
We'll see how the start of this race goes. I know we had a hectic pit road there for a second, but hopefully we can get those issues ironed out and we can get this race going clean. Looks like they're coming around turn 3 now, so the pace car should pull off any second, and we'll get the start of this race going.
All right. Well, everybody hold on because we've got 65 laps to figure it out tonight. I'm sure we're going to see some action out there because it's hard to drive with people that you haven't driven with before.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier. As the pace car pulls off, see, and they're going. But yeah, like I was saying earlier, it's hard to figure out, how to race around guys the first time racing with them. So you really got to feel these guys out and see how they're going to drive. But looks like we have a clean start there. We'll see if they get around turn 1.
So Kyle Wimble
on the wall back there.
Already got some action back there, but still green. Nothing has happened just yet, but we'll jump back. Oh, yeah, they are turned around backwards. We'll see if they can get that turned back around before we go to yellow. It looks like we're going to be okay. It looks like we're going to stay green.
Should be good.
Nope. We got the yellow. There it is. So it looked like a little bit of action back here between Jeremy Duncan and Dane Moyer. And so we're going to go to our very first next diag rec replay. And let's find out what happened back here between Jeremy Duncan and... Oh, it looks like there's just no room on the outside there.
Might have been there at first, but it got closed up pretty quickly.
Well, we will take another quick look at it from just a little bit of a different angle. And again, it's just no room. Let's back up and see if something happened here. It looks like it looks like Dane Moyer might have tried to go outside there.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. He had a run. He felt like he could go up there, and they both squeezed together in one spot. It's just two drivers going for the same spot there.
Yeah, a little bit of rubbing there. I did think that I saw a little bit of net code there. So net code is basically just where two trucks are so close together that the computer systems, the internet, whatever you want to call it, cannot decipher how close they are, and so it starts to wreck that vehicle.
We'll see if anybody. I don't think anybody's coming to pit road unless they have damage right now.
Well, Kyle Wimble just led that entire first two turns there, so that's about all we got out of that one. Hopefully we can get this thing cleaned up and get moving. But a lot of times, looks like we got Brad Yonkman and a few others coming down pit road here. But, once you get started in a race like this, and again, just trying to feel people out, all that stuff, sometimes people will make that decision that, I'm gonna try something really, really early. And I think that's all that happened there.
Yeah, I know a lot of guys that would do that, including myself. You want to see how guys react to having a vehicle beside them, trying to race hard with them on the first few laps. Sometimes like that, it just doesn't work out. Sometimes you can get away with it too. So it's all about chance. But hopefully we can settle down a little bit. First lap of the race is done. So let's just settle down, get into a groove, and hopefully we can see some green flag racing.
Oh yeah, we got plenty of time tonight, so no reason to rush this thing. But again, those two fast repairs, sometimes that leads to people making moves like that without really worrying too much about the consequences this early in the race.
Yeah, that's one of those things. When you have fast repairs, you know that you have at least another shot if something goes wrong. So I do expect guys to race a little bit harder than usual, but it is pretty early to use up both your fast repairs. You kind of want to at least save one for the last 10 laps.
Especially in races like this, we find all the time that you get to those last 10 laps and cautions start flying. And in fact, I think you were a party to that in your last race that you raced with us, where you just had this massive lead, and then all of a sudden people start wrecking behind you coming up to the green white checker.
Yeah, the last Cup recruitment race we did, we had a huge green flag run, and I think the caution came out with about 10 or so to go, and then we just had two more, and we had a few green white checkers. So at the end of the race, when everything's on the line, and especially when people know they have fast repairs, I know we don't in the Cup Series, but when people have fast repairs at the end of the race, they're going to make a lot of bold moves.
All right, we got the 1 to go signal from the pace car, so we're going to come back around and try one more time here. But we still got a little while to go. So your Cup team is absolutely stacked this season, and any of these guys can actually move up throughout these leagues over the next few seasons. Obviously, you got to go through this season and do that. But is this where you started?
Actually, no. I started in the Cup Series. I was a member of an old league, and basically I got scouted from there to be a part of the Cup Series in this league. So no, I didn't start in the Truck Series, but it is nice to see these up and coming talent advance through the series and see who you'd want on your Cup team and everything like that. So even tonight, even if it's going to be a few years from now, you're still scouting talent.
Well, we're going to get that pace car to dive off. Kyle Wimble once again gets that restart. And so last time he waited an awful long time before he got started. Let's see if he does the same thing.
He's already gone. He didn't wait at all that time.
No, and he's already got a little bit of a lead. So that is the safest place to be in a race like this.
Absolutely. Especially at a big track like Auto Club. I believe this is one of the tracks where you do have to slow down in the corners. So if you have a huge lead like that, then it really does help.
So are you thinking right now of, fuel mileage and stuff like that already, or are you just, you're just in there to just relax right now?
Yeah, you're always got that in the back of your head. Especially you want to know how long a fuel run is so you can kind of plan that out. I'd say about 90% of the time those plans never come to fruition because of things that happen on the track, but you still always want to plan out in case the race does go green. So you're always thinking about fuel mileage.
Right now, big race back here for second and third position. It looks like you got Josh Mueller on the inside, Jack Johnson on the outside, but don't count out Brandon Dominguez and Diego Roldan as well right behind them.
Yeah, they're inching ever so closer to Kyle Wimble, and this front group of about, I want to say 8 drivers, they pulled away from the rest of the pack. We'll see if that backpack can catch up to them here. But yeah, they're getting a lot closer to Kyle Wimble. They're getting a lot bigger in his mirror.
I mean, this is a huge track with a ton of room out there, and so you have plenty of room to maneuver. You don't want to make any bad moves, obviously, but you definitely look how much space there is between those two cars that are running side by side. Lots of room to play.
Oh yeah, you could probably run 5 or 6 wide around here if you really wanted to.
Not sure we really want to do that today.
Yeah, I mean, after the first lap, I don't think we want to do that right now. Maybe lap 60-ish, since it'll be towards the end of the race, but just keep it calm and cool right now. I think 2 wide is what you want to do for right now. You don't want to push it too hard.
Let's jump back up front here, find out what's going on with Kyle Wimble. I mean, he's still out there just by a couple tenths of a second. Nothing too major.
Yeah, we still got a good battle from first all the way back to 6th there. You know, they're all side by side. Yeah, they're still inching closer to Kyle, so he might have some trouble here in a few laps. Maybe
Still,
the next corner.
Yeah, still side by side, but Josh Mueller takes the lead on the inside. Oh, he got a little bit too deep in there.
Got a little loose, but he's still there. He's still in the lead. He's side by side with him going down the backstretch. They'll be jockeying for position here going into 3. Looks like he drives it in real deep, and we have a yellow.
Yeah, it looks like back here, I believe that's Lance Sponberg that has spun around on the inside of the track. So we're going to get another reset here.
Looks like he may have gotten into by somebody.
Well, let's go back and take a look at another wreck replay brought to you by Next Diag. And you're going to see that number 86 car up on the top and just got a little shove there. I believe that was Justin Kruckman in the 16. So one of our drivers from last season, they just went 3 wide and ended up going poorly.
Yeah, it looks like he got a little bit loose there, and then when he was chasing it up the track, the 86 was there and really had no room to do it.
Yeah, Justin Kruckman from H2K Motorsports just gets up in there. Also involved the 28 car. I'm trying to figure out who that is. That's Dane Moyer on the track as well. Yeah. So a little bit of damage there as well. So, 8 laps in, this might be a good time. Just go ahead and get your first set of tires.
Yeah, it's I'm sure the guys up front have felt it out, and they know what their tires are going to do. They might come in. Actually, it doesn't look like anybody's going to come in from the front pack here.
No, maybe they're thinking that this is just going to be a yellow fest here.
Yeah, when you see cautions like that coming out so frequently, you get in that mindset that there's probably going to be more cautions. But, I've seen it over the years where there could be 3 cautions at the start of the race, and then it goes green the rest of the way, you can't really hang your hat on that. But, the strategy's always in your head. I'm sure these guys in the back that are wanting fresh tires, they kind of realize that, hey, we got a reset here. Let's try to get into a groove. We'll go to the back, just kind of feel it out, and they'll have the freshest tires. And if they want to make some moves, they can come back through the field if they want to.
Well, speaking of coming back through the field, so we do have our Hard Charger Award brought to you by Sparkle and Shine Mobile Detailing. And I'll let you know right now that the person on the track that has the hardest charging right now is going to be number 44, Joshua Morbitzer. He is up 15 positions from where he started. He started in 27th, and now he's up in 12th.
Yeah, and that's a good job by him to gain all those positions, especially with all those wrecks. I know the first one happened in front of him, so to get through that, it looks like he has a little bit of right front damage on his truck there, so he might have been involved in one of those or maybe tapped the wall trying to avoid it. But yeah, good job for him getting through the field there, and we'll see if he can go make his way up to the front here too.
Well, back up front right now is Josh Mueller, and so he made that pass on the inside of Kyle Wimble, so now we're going to see what he does with this restart once we get back around a couple more times here.
Yeah, and the restarts are always key at some of these tracks, especially at tracks like this where you do have to slow down in the corners, and in most cases, so you'll want as much space as you possibly can from the cars behind you. That's how Kyle was able to lead all those laps at the beginning.
Well, you actually talked to us about restarts just the other night when we were talking, and you said just switch it up, just keep switching it up. Don't do the same thing every single time, and it throws people off a little bit.
Yeah, that's exactly what I try to do. Is I try to switch it up every time, because if you get into the same position every time you do a restart and gas it every time at the same spot, then people are going to catch on to it. They're going to time it perfect, and you're not going to get a jump on those guys. But if you change it up, they're not going to be able to predict it. And that a lot of times that's how I've won races, is just get a good restart, get a jump, get out in front of the field, and just stay up there.
Well, looking back through the field here, we're going to key in on somebody really quickly. This is Matthew Johnson in the number 62 car. He was one of our, I believe he was in the top 8 of Mid-South Madness last season. So really fantastic driver in his own right. And here he is. He's driving a Flashpoint Racing vehicle out there right now, but he's actually going to be driving for Team SRN this season.
Yeah, and speaking of Flashpoint, that's the team I was on in my previous league, and we were kind of affiliated with him and stuff. And I've been able to talk to him a few times, and he seems like a pretty stand-up guy, and it'll be interesting to see how he does this season too. But pace car's pulling off. We're about to go green here. We'll see if Josh Mueller can get a good restart here. And it looks like they're going.
I don't think he got away too much from Kyle Wimble, but just enough to clear him.
I don't think it was as good as restart as Kyle had last time, but yeah, he did a good job staying ahead, and we'll see how it pans out from here. Field is getting pretty spread out.
Yeah, pretty quickly too, and so we do have a little bit of movement back towards the back, but up front, I think people are just kind of content to just drive around for a little while. Oh, well, maybe not. I say that, and Kyle Wimble's all over the tail of Josh Mueller.
Yeah, pushing him into the corner there. Sometimes it's nice to play mind games with people like that. You'll get right on their back bumper. You won't touch them, but you'll get right there hoping they drive it into the corner too deep and make a mistake. And I think that's what Kyle was trying to do there. Looks like he's going to the inside now. He's going to pass him for the lead.
And that's all it really takes. Just making that one little tiny mistake, that one little nudge is all that separates you from first and second.
Absolutely. Well, he's powering back on the outside. He might not get clear of him here. We'll see. Nope, he's not quite clear. Going to stay side by side.
And while all that's going on, Brandon Dominguez is closing the gap in third. So we might get a three-way race here pretty quickly.
It looks like he's coming up to the inside of Josh right now. He's going to take that second spot away from him.
So that inside line seems to be working right now as Brandon Dominguez moves into second position. I'm going to guess that's Dominguez, but I could be wrong. It could just be Domingue.
Yeah, I didn't see a Z at the end of it, so I don't know if if it's misspelled or well, I've never seen it like that before. So we apologize if we're mispronouncing your name. But we're still side by side back here for third, fourth, fifth, sixth.
Yeah, a lot of great racing back here. And you can see how close they are. So Josh Mueller, Brandon Domingue going head-to-head there. Andrew Kleekner and Jack Johnson going head-to-head as well for third and fourth position. Or fourth and fifth position, sorry.
Yeah, and I'm looking back here in that second pack, it looks like. We got side by side back there for 14th, 15th. So we got a lot of good racing going on around the track right now.
Well, and that's the fun of these fixed setups is every car is completely the same. And so because of that, you get this nice tight racing. But a lot of times that causes cautions also.
Yeah, since a lot of guys are really close together, a lot of times that does create cautions. We have Dane Moyer pitting. But yeah, when you have a lot of trucks and cars close together like this, it does breed cautions a lot of times. So you'll see more cautions in fixed than you will open most of the time.
And it looks like, these top 8 are just kind of under a blanket right now.
Yeah, all these guys are sitting pretty here. They're probably just, I know they're side by side, but they're probably just chilling out. They're not racing too hard right now.
Well, we have a little bit of blinking going on from Byron McDonald there.
Oh, we got one on the wall.
Oh, and it comes back down. Oh, no, that's the 68. That's Ernest Nichols. Yeah, big caution. So that all started Ernest Nichols involved there, and he has already gone directly into the pits.
Yeah, he hit that inside wall after he bounced off the other truck there, and he might just use a fast repair, get back out there, but we'll see if he stays in it. I know there's a lot of people that, would kind of quit out after something like that, but I try to stay in these races and
with a couple
of best I can.
With a couple of fast repairs, there's no reason to quit just yet.
Yeah,
and so absolutely. Yeah, it just looks like the 68 Ernest Nichols just kind of got up into the outside. Let's see, that's the number 55 as well involved. I'm trying to figure out, that's Michael Amenti that was involved in that wreck as well. And so we're going to find out who that third truck was as well.
It didn't look like he got loose. It looked like he just didn't realize that the 22 was up there.
Let's see if we can go back and. Yeah, that is the number 22. I'm looking. That's Andrew Kleekner. And so just kind of got rammed to that outside wall a little bit.
I'm not sure what happened to Andrew. He was up there in the fourth spot. And he kind of dropped back a little bit. It's an unlucky break for him.
Well, let's go back live and see where everything shakes out, because at this point, I'm pretty sure everybody's going to have to start pitting, and they do. So,
yeah,
so a lot of the guys.
There's a few guys that stayed out.
So the ones that stayed out, Brandon Deming and Joshua Morbitzer are and David Swift is staying out, and Matthew Johnson pitted on lap 9, so he's going to stay out as well. So we've got 5 or 6 that are staying out. Everyone else getting fresh tires and full fuel.
Yeah, we had Dane Moyer stay out too, which he, like I mentioned earlier, he had pit under green. I'm not sure what happened with him there, but he decided to stay out too since he got fresh tires.
Yeah, it was a long pit stop for Dane Moyer there, so he is already a lap down. We're going to have to see if he can get that lap back at some point, but with these cars not pitting in front of him, I don't believe that's going to happen.
Yeah, and that might be one of those strategy calls where I know some people, if you have minor damage, you don't want to use your fast repair just yet. You want to save them both. So he might have just had 20, 30 seconds of damage and wanted to fix that.
Well, Brandon Deming is going to restart us when we get back around to the green eventually here. Joshua Morbitzer, both of these are independent drivers, so neither of these are on a team right now that I can see, at least in our team chats. And then you have Matthew Johnson, who's driving for Team SRN back here in third, and David Swift, who is driving for H2K Motorsports back here in fourth.
Yeah, and I'm sure those guys up front that stayed out that aren't on a team are wanting to get some eyes on them right now. So we'll see how they do with these older tires. I know we're on lap 18 right now, coming to 19. I want to say they probably have about 14, 13 maybe green flag laps on their tires. So be interesting to see how these new tires come up through the field and if they can hold them off with those old tires.
And right now we're kind of keyed in on David Swift. He is also currently our hard charger award. So he has improved himself 18 spots. He started off in the 21st position and moved all the way up into third.
And he's one of those drivers that I've been watching. He's been improving over the last few weeks. He was in the Discord. He was talking about how he got his first few wins last week, I believe. In iRacing, and he's raised his iRating up quite a bit since the last few weeks. And I've raced with him in a few recruitment races back before we couldn't race in the truck ones. And he seems to be a decent enough driver and has a level head. So I'm interested to see how he does this season as well.
Yeah, just looking out at the track right now, we do have 27 cars still on the track. Only one car a lap down right now, and that's Dane Moyer. Everyone else has either left the building or wrecked out, whichever one you want to call it.
Yeah, and like you were saying earlier, I know a lot of these guys have those 2 fast repairs, and you want to stay in and win the race, but some people just get down on their luck and they don't want to continue anymore, and it's one of those things. But pace car's pulling off now. We're about to go green. Let's see what kind of restart we can get.
Brandon Deming
He's
is
already
going
on
to
the
get
loud
it,
pedal.
and he takes off. He has got a great restart. He is definitely going to clear Joshua Morbitzer there on the outside, and you can see all the cars behind him trying to chase him down.
He's got a pretty good lead. We got David Swift. It looked like he was coming up there to get second, but he lifted a little bit. So he's probably just playing it safe right now. I'm going to go back and watch some of these drivers that got fresh tires there and see how much they can gain on this leader.
So the first car out there that has fresh tires is Byron McDonald. Here in it's the number 23 car up on the screen, but it's actually the number 14 car on the scoreboard. So he is up in 4th position with brand new fresh tires. So these 3 in front of him that have not pitted yet at all need to be careful.
Had one get loose there coming off of 4. Looked pretty scary. They saved it.
And it looks like Byron's starting to make up some ground here on 3rd position. He's just going to follow number 13, David Swift there, try to pull up into 3rd, and then he's going to start picking them off one by one.
Yeah, I don't think these guys really have a chance here on these old tires. He's just slicing and dicing through them right now. He's going to clear, probably going to clear David Swift going into 3 here, and we'll see what he does coming off of 4.
And with those fresh tires, I mean, you can go high, you can go low, you can go anywhere you want.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Oh, someone got into the back of the 8 there.
It looks like Justin Kruckman a little bit off pace there, so keep an eye on what's going on back in the back of the pack. But up front, Brandon Deming, he's found something out here.
Yeah, he's...
and we're wrecking.
Oh, they're wrecking. Oh.
A big spin. Kyle Wimble involved, so one of our leaders involved in that. Looks like trying to figure out who all is down there. So Sean Kozier involved as well. David Swift involved in that one.
I'm going to say, too, Dane Moyer, he was in the back there. I don't know if he got into the wall or something, but he's got a blown motor.
Oh, yeah.
Actually just popped on him there.
You could see that smoke. Well,
he's been riding on the bottom for the last lap.
Let's take a look and see what happened back here with another wreck replay by Next Diag. And so it looks like the 91 just kind of got a little out of shape there.
Yeah, it looks like he got a little loose. It was a tough break for the 13. He's up there contending for the lead.
Well, once again, that's Kyle Wimble. So his number on the screen is the 8 car, but yeah, he just got up into the 13 there. So, and not a lot of room for that car to go.
That's a hard hit.
So
just like what happened earlier, he just got a little loose and got up into the truck above him, and there's no room to do that when there's the truck on your outside.
Yeah, a lot of damage there. Let's take a look and see what happened with Dane Moyer. Yeah, it just looks like his engine was already shot, and so he just brings it down to the inside and then just blows that motor. So that might be the end of his night.
Yeah, I think he might have used his first fast repair earlier, and this will probably be a second if he hasn't already used it.
Well, here's another interesting strategy here. So Brandon Deming still has not pitted, and everyone else, for the most part, I think Joshua Morbitzer is the only other one that has not pitted at all in this race. Interesting strategy here on lap 24.
Yeah, and I mean, it's nice to lead laps, but at this point, it's already been, you've probably had 20 laps on your tires, and everyone else has pit at least once. So, you know what the truck's going to do? I would have dove down and got some fresh tires there. Maybe I could have charged back through the field and got back up to the lead.
Yeah, I'm not really sure what the strategy. I mean, hey, it could be the right strategy. I could be completely wrong. That's why I'm a broadcaster. I'm not out there on the racetrack.
I mean, it works. Like I said, if you have a strategy, about 95% of the time, you're not going to have that same strategy by the end of the race. Just things happen. So we'll see if that's the right call.
So the other truck that has not pitted yet, Joshua Morbitzer, the number 44, has not pitted, and currently he is up 23 positions from his starting position. So currently he is the one sitting as the hard charger winner.
Yeah, I mean, if we keep having these cautions, I don't think there's going to be a lot of guys that'll have a chance to come up there and catch him and pass him for that. As you saw earlier, we had Byron McDonald. He came in and got tires, but he's not in the lead yet. It's taken him a little bit to get up there. So, maybe these fresh tires aren't as good as we think they are, and but we'll see as the race goes on. Hopefully, we can keep it green.
Well, Brandon Domingue is really putting on a show out here, especially with old tires, and we'll see what happens on this next restart. Can he hold off Byron McDonald for very long? And if he gets a good jump, he could be in the catbird seat here if there's another caution.
Yeah, if he gets a good jump and gets a huge lead, he could probably lead a few laps. But again, if a caution comes out, I mean, it's just going to repeat the process. So we just got to keep it clean. Oh, I don't know what 44 was doing there, but we got to keep it clean and we'll see how it pans out.
Looking at the top 10 right now, this is drastically different from the recruiting race that we had for Xfinity and for Cup, because the top 10 in those races were already on teams for the most part. So there were maybe 1 or 2 independents. This top 10 right now, there are 6 independents in the top 10.
Yeah, so they're probably looking for a team, and I know there's going to be a lot of guys out here scouting some talent. So we'll see if any of them get on a team.
Yeah, we're basically limiting each race to 40 drivers. And so I know right now there are technically 9 teams. We might see some combined. We'll see what happens there. But 8 teams of 5 is kind of what we're looking for. But yeah, there's a lot of guys out here looking for a team, and a lot of teams that are looking for drivers.
Absolutely. I'm not sure what that 44 has been doing, but we got the pace car about to pull off. We're going to go green again. We'll see if we can keep it green. We'll see if Brandon can get a huge jump here.
He
like
does.
He's going to get a decent one. Oh, Byron's blinking a little bit.
Yeah, it looked like Byron kind of almost hit the brake there, and so Brandon gets a nice little jump. Let's see how long he can stay out.
Doesn't look like it's a huge jump like some of those guys were getting before. We might see Mr. McDonald come up there and battling for the win or for the lead here in a little bit.
Well, right next to McDonald is Kevin Nobley, so we haven't mentioned that name tonight yet. So he started off in the 10th position, up to 2nd right now in that number 32 car or truck. And so he is actually making the move a little bit quicker than Byron McDonald is.
Yeah, it looks like he's doing a good job of holding him off, and I don't know if Byron's driving really easy to try to keep those tires from wearing too quickly. Looks like he's going to stay tucked up behind Nobley here. He's not going to make a move on him. But he might be driving a little easier right now. I've done that strategy a few times. You just drive it easy, don't wear the tires out too quickly, and you'll have it by the end of the race. Looks like he's taking it 3 wide.
Well, that is a Rev Racing staple, is to save those tires. And so they work on that constantly in their practices. Oh, number 44 gets a little tap.
A little bit.
And so, yeah, Rev Racing, they work on tire strategy constantly out there. So we are 3 wide back here towards the back a little bit. So let's keep an eye on this.
44 got a little loose coming off of 4 there and almost tagged the 22.
Yeah, now keep in mind, the 44 has not pitted yet, so he is on lap 28 of these tires while everybody else is pretty much on fresh tires. So he may be struggling with this truck a little bit.
Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. He's been falling off for the last few laps here. Looks like Mr. McDonald, Byron McDonald, is coming back up. Catching up with Jack Johnson here. He's got that draft right on his bumper. And again, like you said, their staple is just saving tires. It really looks like that's what he's doing right now.
Just taking a look and seeing how much Joshua Morbitzer is working that wheel, because that'll show you if the tires are falling off. That looked somewhat smooth there.
Yeah, I don't know if the air from the other trucks kind of upset him a little bit. Byron McDonald's blinking there again. But I don't know if the air was just upsetting his truck earlier, but it looks like he smoothed things over.
Well, I believe. Oh, and he's in the wall.
Tapped the wall.
Oh, in the wall again. And so Josh Morbitzer having a few issues there. Was all the way up in 3rd position for a little while, but now falling way back.
Might be texting and driving.
And now the battle for the lead up here. Byron McDonald finally gets to the outside of Brandon Domingue. Jack Johnson just behind. But Byron looks like he's going to make this pass with ease, as Brandon Domingue is just on really, really soft tires now.
Yeah, he made that look easy. He drove it in there deep and kept it in there, and he's now in the lead. He's clear by a few truck lengths.
And now Brandon Domingue has to be careful down there on the bottom side because there's not a lot of grip on those tires anymore. And so he's got to be careful. And it looks like everybody just kind of falls in line. They don't want to get involved with that.
It looks like he washed up a little bit there in front of Jack Johnson. Jack's going to take the inside on him here.
Yeah, but I think the outside is the safest place for Brandon right now with those tires. So right now he's just begging for a caution so he can get some fresh tires.
Yeah, if you're on old tires, you kind of want to be on the outside. You don't really want to wash up into anybody. Looks like they're taking it 3 wide, though. Almost.
Well, not really sure that that Kevin Nobley wants to be up where he's at, right on the outside there. But I think everything's going to be okay here.
Yeah, and he's got a little front end damage, too, so I think that might be hurting him down the straightaways a little bit.
But Byron McDonald, I mean, we thought that he was going to kind of pull away a little bit. He has not been able to do that just yet. So Brandon Domingue right on his tail still.
Yeah, you might still be employing that strategy of saving tires, you know. And also, too, at a big track like this, the draft really matters. So, you know, if someone's in your draft, they can catch back up pretty quickly down the straightaways.
Yeah, just to go back to who we were talking about earlier, Josh Morbitzer has entered the pits to get fresh tires and fuel, so he has entered the pits.
Be interesting to see if that brings anybody else down for a green flag pit stop. I don't think it will, but we'll see what happens.
Well, we got to find out if how long Brandon Domingue's going to stay out there, and there he goes. He's like coming in right now. Yep. And so he will come down pit lane. But Byron McDonald will continue to lead this thing. Jack Johnson trying to catch up, just a couple tenths of a second behind.
Yeah, and I think he's just trying to keep a distance right now. You know, that's one of those strategies that you'd want to do. You just want to stay out there. You don't want to let him get too close, but you also don't want to let him get a run on you with that draft either. So,
well, I'm taking a look. Take a look at Kevin Nobley, because he is way up top. In fact, that last come around the turn, it looked like he was way up, getting that cushion off of that outside wall, and that's a new update that iRacing has just put together.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that you really have to feel to know it's there. You can't really see it too much when you're watching these guys out on the track, and you can see it a little bit, but when you're out there racing like that, and you get up close to that wall and it starts pushing you away from it, it's a surreal feeling. It really is.
Yeah, it's just really interesting to see. I mean, not a lot of people that we've witnessed, at least, have tried that extreme outside line yet. I'm sure that will come into play a little bit more as people get used to it. But it's kind of fun to see some of these guys do that extreme outside line when that has not been able to be the case in the past couple of years.
Yeah, and especially with the draft model that iRacing's got out, it's gotten better over the years. I think it still needs a few more tweaks to get it perfect, but you know, adding that cushion up against the wall really is a game changer, especially at tracks like Kansas, where you run the outside pretty much most of the race there. Oh, looks like Kevin Nobley just hit the wall.
Oh,
and a little too much.
Yeah, a little bit too much on the outside. Oh, he's going to just scrape that a lot. He's trying to stay out of everybody's way, which is good on him. But yeah, just a lot of damage is going to happen to that car. No yellow flag. I think he's going to have to try to find a way back to pit lane. Oh, he's just going to stop on the track. He's going to pull out a yellow by stopping on the track.
Yeah, I get it. You want to come to pit road. I don't think that was the right call to just stop on the track like that.
Yeah, and again, it's one of those things where may not have the experience, may not understand the etiquette to side of that, where you don't just want to stop on the track because that does just bring out a yellow flag. Plus, he's going to be in the pits for a while because he took a tow there, so it's not like it's going to save you a lap.
Right. You know, like you said, with the experience thing and the etiquette, not a lot of guys know that can change the course of a race. And, you know, we could have stayed green to the end, but that caution came out. So just change the strategy up a little bit, but I'm sure all these guys can adjust, and we'll see what happens. I'm sure every one of these guys has to come down for tires here.
Well, we got Brandon Deming, who came in on lap 32. So he's only coming to the pit one time. Can he make it 33 laps to make it to the finish line now that he's come in?
I'm not too sure exactly what a fuel run is here. I'd have to see some. I'd have to see some statistics here, but I think he's going to stay out. Yeah, it looks like he's staying out. You only have 3 laps, green laps on your tires, so you might as well stay out at that point.
Yeah, I mean, I think, and he definitely needs to get the lap back anyway. He was down a lap, but I guess my curiosity is he took that first run 32 laps, and yeah, we had 3 or 4 cautions in that time. Do you think you can stretch it for 33 laps on this one? And that may be the strategy.
Maybe. I'm gonna be interesting to see if some people come down on 1 to green and maybe top off with their fuel if they think they can make it to the end. It's another one of those strategy things. I've done it a lot. I did it in the finale race in my other league. Didn't work out too well, but it's a strategy thing. Some people would sacrifice their position on track to get a little more fuel in the truck and hopefully squeak by with a fuel mileage win.
Well, we were looking right now at Brian Crocker and Cole Martin side by side here. So Brian Crocker in the 86, though you really can't see the 86 on his truck, but Cole Martin in the 85. So they're drivers for Bronco Motorsports. Neither of them pitted this time around, so they will likely have to come in for at least one more pit stop before the end of this race. But Brian Crocker, phenomenal driver. We saw him last season in the Xfinity League, and so we will see what he can do up front here once we get back going to green.
Looks like Cole Martin's pulling on the pit road now, so it just leaves 2 out there that haven't pit.
Yeah, so just Brian Crocker that is still on the lead lap currently, and then we're going to have Brandon Deming come around to get his lucky dog, and so he's going to come back around and get back on the lead lap.
Yeah, and where he got that lucky dog, he's going to have to start at the tail end. So, maybe he could pit. I know this is a long track. Maybe he could pit, get some tires and come back around, but he'll probably just stay out here.
I mean, he has nothing to lose at this point. That would not be a bad idea, especially just to top off, because we know that now you can make it a full fuel run if you come into pit right now. So that would be a great strategy for him. Not sure he's going to take our advice because, again, we're in the broadcast booth.
Yeah, it looks like he's staying out here, so we'll see how it plays out. I didn't see anybody come in on 1 to green other than
Cole Martin.
I think it was Cole Martin, yeah. So maybe he's got the strategy to win here. We'll see.
So Brian Crocker out there on 20-lap old tires, and you have Byron McDonald going to be on his outside on brand new tires. If you look at it on paper, you know exactly who's going to win this race.
Yeah, I feel like with which lap did Crocker pit on?
Lap 17.
Lap 17, yeah. I feel like his tires are a little too old right now to make it, and on fuel too. But the pace car is pulling off. We'll see if he can get a good jump on the restart here.
Looks like he's just kind of waiting, and then the green flag comes out from the tower.
Yeah, and at that point, if the green flag comes out from the tower and you're not going, as we see Byron McDonald pass them on the outside there, if you're not going, then the rest of the field can go and pass you. So
Byron gets a free pass there.
He does. He took advantage of it.
So he's going to get out to a nice lead as Brian Crocker is going to have to kind of baby that truck around on those old tires. Everybody else gets stacked up behind him. Byron McDonald just takes off.
Curious to see what happens with Brian and his old tires, see how these trucks can get around him. Looks like he's gonna got a little loose on the bottom. Looks like he's gonna stack a few guys up. Oh, got one loose behind him.
So everybody all stacked up right here. And so Byron McDonald.
Oh, one around.
Oh, here we go. And that's Cole Martin. So who we just talked about was the last one to pit on that lead lap. So he goes around, still green flag, right? Oh, now we're wrecking.
Yeah,
I believe that's Brad Yonkman. Yeah, Brad Yonkman in the number 93 involved in that. I saw him going around first. And then I think Jason Crackey involved, Jeremy Duncan involved. Got quite a few involved in this one. That happened right in the middle of the track.
Ooh, that looked like a tough break for some guys. Man.
Wow, I think this started a little bit further up because
It did.
Is that Brian Crocker?
It is.
He was up in the
kinda
wall.
Kind of pinched him into the wall there, and it just started everything.
Let's go back and yeah, Brian Crocker and Nathan Nixon involved. Number 26, that's Josh Mueller involved as well.
And then he just comes back up the track and takes out a few more trucks.
Yeah, and so let's go back and take a look and see what happens with Josh Mueller. He just ran out of room. There's nowhere for him to go.
Yeah, when you're sliding through the grass like that and trying to wheel the truck back, it's hard to keep it off the track.
Yeah, Matt Johnson.
Nothing to do.
Matt Johnson, Brad Yonkman involved there. The number 224 of Cody Riggs kind of got a little bit of damage there, so quite a few drivers involved. And again, we're not blaming anybody, of course. I mean, this is Brian made a decision to stay out on older tires. If it worked, then he's a genius. If it doesn't work, then he's not a genius. It just didn't work.
Right.
And sometimes it does.
Strategy.
Sometimes that strategy works.
Yeah, especially if it's towards the end of the race. I know I expect if a caution comes out, maybe with I want to say 5 to go, I expect some people to stay out if there's some pitters. As we saw earlier with Byron McDonald, I don't know if he was just saving his stuff, but it took him a few laps to try to catch those guys and pass them. So maybe new tires aren't that great. Maybe you can hold some people off on old tires, but you have a few guys pitting. I'm sure those are the guys that got damage that are on pit road right now.
Well, actually, we got some of the guys in there that are just coming in to top off. So Brandon Deming, who we've been talking about a few times because he stayed out so long the last time around, he's in the pits getting some fresh tires. So I think he's going to try to go the distance now. Josh Mueller has a shot to do that now as well. Cody Riggs, all these guys that have damage and are getting brand new tires and a lot of fuel, they can go the distance now.
Yeah, they can make it to the end. And we'll see if the guys, I'm sure some guys are shutting their trucks off or clutching it, trying to save some fuel here. So it sounds like Byron McDonald's truck's off right now. So I'm sure a lot of those guys are saving fuel right now, hoping they can make it to the end.
If it's not off, he is definitely babying it.
He may be in fourth clutching it.
Yeah,
but it sounds like he's shutting it off and back on.
Well, we'll stay with this view for just a little while to see if he does that. Because it's always interesting, those strategies that drivers use to get just that little bit of extra fuel. And I know you've been in those races before where you just run out of gas across the finish line.
Yeah, it's unfortunate when those situations happen, but you just want to save as much fuel as possible. I know, and also too, if you have more fuel in your truck or car, whatever you're racing, puts more weight on the back end, and it keeps you from getting tighter. It helps free up the car a little bit, so that's also a strategy call too. You want to keep more fuel in there and keep the car free.
Now, out there in the chat right now, so Ryan Ducombe asked, how many laps have been green? Well, Jake Rowell answered that, not that many right now. So, and that's okay. I mean, that's just kind of how it works sometimes, especially when you have those fast repairs to fall back on. But one thing that I will say is anytime you're starting a league, the first 5 or 6 weeks of that league are going to be people feeling each other out, people trying to figure out how people race. And so the first 5 or 6 weeks of a brand new league are typically caution fests, and then people start to get comfortable and a lot more green flag racing happens.
Yeah, that's the case with pretty much every league out there. You want to feel the guys out at first, and it's going to be crazy. But a lot of times, maybe about halfway through the season, the guys settle down. They know how to race each other, and it just produces great racing at the end of the year. But yeah, the pace car is about to pull off here. We'll see what kind of jump Byron McDonald can get on this restart.
So Byron on relatively new tires, and he's going to take off.
He's got a huge lead. It looks like Jack Johnson held back a little bit there.
He may have been asleep on that one. He might need to drink some of that Mountain Dew.
Or maybe get a Bang Energy. Something.
I think we may have found the winning formula for paints on a car, because you had an energy drink on your car and Silverback Tax Solutions on it, and so now Byron McDonald has Bang Energy on his car and Silverback Tax Solutions on it. So I mean, just saying, there are combinations that work.
I think it might be more of the Silverback than anything. I think that's. It's like the guys behind him are catching him. Oh, Jack Johnson getting a little loose. Saves it.
Good save by Jack Johnson. But up in front of him, Andrew Harris takes second place from Bronco Motorsports. So another Bronco Motorsports driver up here. Jason Kratke into the wall on the backstretch. And it looks like he's just...
Hits it again.
Yep. Just looks like might be a little bit upset there, obviously. And brings out yet another yellow flag. So let's go back and check out a rec replay, find out what happened to Jason Kratke. I mean, to me, it looks like he just back end came out from around him.
You got a little loose there, but you see Matthew Johnson coming up. He
wow.
He goes down and hits him. Yeah, he just doesn't realize that he's there. And
yeah, I mean,
he didn't know there was a truck low.
Racing with Matt Johnson for as long as I have, and watching him for as long as I have, that is not intentional at all. He just did not know he was there.
Yeah, and he was right behind Brandon Deming, and it looked like he had a huge run and was going to hit him. So, I mean, it's pick one or the other at that point. And there's really no harm intended, but that's just a part of racing.
Yeah, I think Matt was just trying to get around Brandon Deming and just didn't even realize that he was down there.
Yeah.
So we will find out what happens, what his decision is, as far as, is he going to come in? I mean, he's going to have to come in and get some damage repaired. Does he have a fast repair left? Unfortunately, we don't know that. So we just, all we can do is guess.
We will see. It looks like Byron McDonald is really low on the track. He might come into pit here. It looks like he's coming down.
No.
Oh.
Faking it out.
Going
Now,
through the grass.
Now we saw this. We saw this in the last race, I believe it was, of the Xfinity Series, and it was here at Auto Club, where they went through the grass, but because the commitment cone is so far away, so far up pit road, that does not hurt anything. They can do that, and everything be okay. So really. A lot of game playing going on there.
Yeah, it's a perfectly legal strategy. That, like you said, the commitment comes really deep in there. So yeah, you'll get a 1X from iRacing, but you're not going to get any penalties for that.
So let's look at this again. So he's going to go down like he's coming in, and you will see no commitment cone, no commitment cone. He goes back through the grass, gets back out there on the track. So perfectly legal to do. Definitely an interesting strategy, and that might catch some people off guard.
Yeah, and there were a few trucks that went through the grass to avoid that, and it looked like probably the first 15 trucks were going to come down pit road, and then once he came back out, everybody else came back out.
Yeah, you don't want to be the only one in pit road, because then you have to drive back through 20 drivers or so just to get back out front.
Yeah, and we've had a caution-filled race so far, so, who's to say we won't get a bunch more, and that just shrinks the amount of laps you have that you can catch up to those guys. So I think at this point, with less than 20 to go, I think the plan is just to stay out and try to maximize your positions. Out
there in the chat, you got Jake Rowell saying PTSD for Dean Brummett, and that's who that happened to. So Dean Brummett was running for the championship. Another championship contender, Bobby Brill, went down pit road, or looked like he was going down pit road. Dean Brummett stayed out. Bobby cut back through the grass and hit Dean Brummett. And when he hit Dean Brummett, it damaged Dean Brummett's car. Bobby Brill ended up winning the championship. No penalty was called because he didn't commit a foul, according to iRacing. And so really crazy thing out there that happened, but perfectly legal.
Yeah, and it's just unfortunate when stuff like that happens. I know I've been a victim of some people trying to stay out, and there's a truck on or a car on their outside, which would be me, and they just cut right across your nose and hit you. So I've been a victim of that circumstance too. It's not a good feeling, but I mean it is legal, so there's not much you can really do about it.
Joseph Dupont out in the chat saying, man, Josh Witt up in 7th position. So Josh Witt, one of his teammates from H2K Motorsports last season, and still one of his teammates. I know Joseph is driving in the Xfinity Series this season. So really neat to see his buddy Josh Witt up there. Josh had a rough go of it in the Xfinity Series, but here he is in trucks up in 7th position, and his teammate David Swift up in 9th. So a couple great H2K drivers already showing out.
Yeah, I remember David Swift was involved in a wreck earlier, and he's made his way back to the field, so good on him. Those H2K guys are going to be something to watch here. Like the pace car's about to pull off. Let's see what kind of restart we get from Byron McDonald. And there he goes.
Yeah, man, it looked like he had Andrew Harris just sleeping, and so he just took off, got a nice lead on him already.
And Adam Boltemeyer, he takes that second spot. He might clear Andrew Harris off of turn 2 here.
So in case you're wondering, the first car that had pitted on lap 41 is back there in 11th place. That's Nathan Nixon. So he's still got some work to do to catch up to these guys.
That's 3 wide for second here. It's like Jose just backs it off there.
Jose Castellanos, I'm going to guess that Castellanos is what I'm guessing. Castellanos. Yeah.
I was going to let you say it first.
Yeah. Let me mess it. Oh, no, they're together.
Oh, it looked like they net coded through each other, so we're good.
Wow, and all that happened. Jack Johnson goes down to the inside trying to take that third position, or actually second position away. So still good racing up here for second, third, and fourth position.
It looks like Jack Johnson is going to clear him off of 2 here. Yeah, sometimes net code works in your favor. Some trucks get inside each other like that. There's minimal damage and no one spins out. So it can be a good or bad thing. We got a caution, looks like. Got a spin off of 2.
I believe that's Justin Kruckman. Yep, Justin Kruckman in the number 16. Another driver for H2K Motorsports. So let's go back and find out what happened with Justin on another rec replay.
Yeah, I believe here if we look at it, he gets a little loose, and Brian Crocker just finishes him off. Nowhere to go.
Yeah, it looked like that rear end just kind of came out a little bit. You can see it. It's just starting to slide. There's nowhere to go. Brian Crocker had that inside line. There's nowhere for Brian Crocker to go there. If he goes down to the inside, he spins. If he goes up to the outside, he doors somebody else. So nothing that Brian Crocker could have done about that.
Yeah, once you commit to a line like that, it's kind of hard to deviate. And if you do deviate, usually you'll wreck yourself. So you got to make a decision at that point. Kind of hard to make those split-second decisions when you're going 160.
It is, and you make hundreds of them. I mean, thousands of them every second. And so that's one thing that in this league, and actually in the rule book, it says that people have to make split-second decisions just consistently throughout these things. And one bad decision is all it takes to ruin not just their race, but a lot of other people's races too. So, yeah, there's a lot of people that get angry with that. But not everything's perfect in this world, unfortunately.
Yeah, there's a lot of flaws in the racing world, and that's one of the reasons why we all love it. It's the driver element is really what shines here. So, but we got less than 15 laps to go. It'll be interesting to see what kind of strategy we have here. I noticed a lot of guys didn't pit there. Like I said earlier, I know some guys are probably going to maximize their position and just try to stay out with that track position. So we'll see what happens with some fresh tires here.
Byron McDonald
we actually
up
have
there. Go ahead.
Have Kyle Wimble. He was backwards there. Looked like he got wrecked under caution.
I do not have a replay of it. I do have him coming into pit lane.
Yeah, right here.
Oh,
I don't know.
well, wow, he just took a direct right turn.
Yeah, Justin Cruck. I don't know if they had some bad blood going on or what happened, but
I'm trying to see who exactly that was that he turned because that number is incorrect. So it was not the number 91 car.
it was Kyle Wimble in
Oh,
the eight.
it was Kyle Whitlow. So
Yeah,
let's go back and find out who that was that turned him.
and it's Justin Cruckman
Oh,
there.
Cruckman turned him. Well, admins aren't going to like that. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, I don't think so. They don't really tolerate that behavior. So see what happens. He's still out there on the track. I know a few people were removed already for the way they were driving. So I'm not sure if they just didn't see it.
I'm not really sure what the issue was there because it wasn't Wimble that did anything to him on that one. Now, I could be wrong. I could have missed a different one, but I didn't see anything that happened between those two specifically.
Yeah, maybe. I didn't see anything on track between them, so I don't know what happened. But we got the one to go, so we're about to go green this time by.
All right, and so we got this backstretch to go. Hey, 13 laps to go. Now you're kind of stuck where you're at. There's not going to be any more pitting, I don't believe, unless we just go green, white, checker, and people start running out of fuel. So what's your strategy here to hold off people behind you that might have newer tires?
Well, if I'm the leader and I don't have the freshest tires, I'm not going to be too worried about trucks right now that are coming up through the field until they get really close to me. So, if I were Byron McDonald, try to get a good restart here, keep a level head, try to worry about the trucks that are around you. And then if you see some trucks getting bigger in your mirror, that's when I would start worrying. Pace car is going to pull off. And there he goes. Another great restart.
So Byron McDonald just gets way out front there. And if people out there are wondering why I'm not keyed in on Byron McDonald that much, it's because he's been blinking. And so it really, see, there he goes. And so it just loses everything when that happens. So I'm trying to key in on second place so we can still see Byron McDonald there. So there is a method to my madness, I promise.
Looks like we're trying 3 wide here for second.
And you can see how much room is out there. And so, I mean, just making smart decisions at this point is really all you need to do. And this is where recruiting races have a lot of trouble towards the end because there's nothing to lose. So you don't get any points for second place here. So, I mean, you're going to leave it all out there.
Absolutely. Looks like Jose Castellanos. Hopefully that's right. He made a smart decision not to take 3 wide on the backstretch, and then I think he made the smart decision to go up high here. He might clear that 72 coming off of 2. He can work his way up into 3rd place there.
Yeah,
they're getting tight.
He's actually doing really, really well out there. He's blinking out a little bit as well. So a lot of internet issues out there.
Yeah, and it could be a server thing too. I know there's been times in league races where, and even other hosted races where just everyone's blinking out at some point. Looks like Jack Johnson is getting a little closer to Byron McDonald. He's getting passed by Adam Baltimore though.
So Jack
holding their own here.
Yeah, Jack Johnson doing a great job up there. Looks like Boltmeyer on the inside just trying to keep a hold of that car. Looked like the back end was coming around again on that one. Now you got number 22, Andrew Klickner, right behind, getting a good little draft off of him. So it's just a matter of picking which lane do you want to go with.
Yeah, it looks like he made the decision to back off there before the end of the straightaway. And, a lot of guys race smart like that. Instead of taking it 3 wide every corner, you back off, reset, get into a groove, and then try again.
Well, sometimes it just opens up. I mean, sometimes just you're patient, then all of a sudden it opens up and you just walk right through that door.
Yeah, it looks like Jack Johnson got to the inside of Byron McDonald there for a second, but he's going to pull away on the outside here.
Out there in the chat, Kyle Wimble has joined us, and so he says that he's very, very frustrated, which obviously very, very frustrated. definitely a great race for him, especially starting off the race up in the pole position. And hopefully we will see him again. Not exactly how we wanted to see him finish that race either.
Yeah, he was doing a good job there, and then he just got into some unfortunate situations. But he did lead quite a bit, so he had a good showing out there tonight. Looks like Jack Johnson keeps peeking to the inside of Byron McDonald, but not really taking it anywhere right now.
Not just yet, but again, we got 8 laps to go. This is probably not the time to be passing somebody, because then they could just pass you right back for the end.
Yeah, Brian Crocker stopped on the apron. He tows it to the pits.
Yep. So it looks like he's going to end his own night there.
Byron McDonald still maintaining that lead. We got a group of 5 trucks there throwing her a blanket.
Well, again, out there in the chat, Kyle Wimble saying that his boy Jack Johnson's going to win this thing. And so we will find out here in 7 laps, find out what he can do with Jonathan Byer Racing.
Yeah, we'll find out. He's been able to stay there with Byron McDonald. So we'll see what happens here at the end. We got the 23. Jose Castellanos there giving him a push going into 3.
Yeah,
washes up the track a little bit.
Jose was all over and then went up that track, and I thought that he might lose that position to Andrew Klickner, but seems to be maintaining it there on the outside. But now some distance is being put together by Jack Johnson.
Yeah, Jack Johnson. He's probably a little frustrated that he can't get by that 14 of Byron McDonald. And looks like actually Byron McDonald got a little tight there. Went up to the wall. He lost a few spots. So
yeah, he's having
Jack Johnson to the lead.
He's having some bad internet issues as well. He is blinking constantly. Jack Johnson moves into the lead, and just like Kyle Wimble was predicting, Jack Johnson has control of this race.
He's up there in the lead. He's probably looking to pull away from those guys, but don't count out Jose Castellanos and Andrew Klickner. Those guys are still hungry. They've been there the whole time.
Well, and a great showing for Jose, regardless of whether he wins this race or not, because he started off in 24th position, and he is up here in second, competing for this win and putting on some pressure.
So Andrew Klickner got a little tight there and almost got up into him. So he's going to back off a little bit there and lose a few spots. Puts Byron McDonald back into 3rd.
So you can see how tight this race is. That top 5 is kind of pulled away a little bit, and so it looks like it's just going to be a 5-truck race.
Ooh.
Might be even
Jose
fewer.
Jose got a good turn 4 there. He's going to go to the inside of Jack Johnson. Looks like he wants that hard charger award.
Well, right now he is the hard charger up here in the lead. However, Andrew Harris back in 8th position is up 22 spots, while Jose is up 23. So it's going to be a tight race for that hard charger award as well.
It's going to be a close one here. Jack
Side by side.
Back on the outside.
Side by side for the lead. Man, what would happen if that was your last lap coming across the finish line? That would be unreal.
Oh, yeah. Especially you got that truck on the outside getting a run. I think at this point I'd probably pull a crossover. Looks like that's what he's going to try to do here. Jose's not going to put up much of a fight. We'll let him have it. I don't know if I'd do that with 3 to go.
And then Byron McDonald pushing Jack Johnson up to the lead. Byron's going to take that 2nd position now.
Ooh, with the crossover, Jose's coming back. He gets past Byron.
This is some great racing out there.
Absolutely. Jose's got a huge run on Jack Johnson here. Wonder if he's going to stay on his bumper or take it to the outside.
Adam Boltmeyer up in 3rd position, so still not decided yet. We still have 2 laps to go coming to the line. Once again, side by side.
Side by side. That could be a preview.
Ooh, we better set up our finish line cam.
Absolutely. It looks like this one might be a side-by-side finish. Jack Johnson getting a huge run on the outside there.
That outside seems to be working. I think Jose had to back off there a little bit.
Yeah, I think they both had to lift a little bit there. Gave the advantage to Jack. Yeah, Adam Baltimore, he's catching these 2 right now.
And here we go, coming to the line for the white flag. Still too close to call.
Boltemeyer is closing in on Jack Johnson right now. And this is going to be a good finish.
This is going to be fantastic. Here we go. So Jose Castellanos on the inside. You got Jack Johnson on the outside. You got Adam Boltemeyer right behind. Might make it 3 wide in the final turn. We'll see what happens here shortly. He's going to get a draft on Jose. Jose pulls to the top.
Jose got a really good run through 1 and 2. It's going to take a really big send from Jack Johnson to get this win here. Looks like he's going to send it.
Might have a little touch.
Woo! Boltemeyer got into the backup. Looks like Jose's going to win this race and the hard charger award.
Jose Castellanos. I'm killing that name. I'm sorry, Jose. I really am. Jose Castellanos is going to come across the finish line and win the Cruising California 130 recruitment race here at Auto Club.
Congratulations. What a race.
What a great finish. My goodness. And he will also win not only the free entry into one of the Truck Series races if he chooses to drive the Truck Series, but also he is going to win the Hard Charger Award. He started off in 24th position and ended up winning the whole dang thing.
Yeah, I mean that's one way to do it. You know, like me and you were talking about earlier. You want that Hard Charger Award? You qualify somewhere near the back. He qualified 24th. He made his way all the way up to first.
I can tell you right now, there are some team owners looking up his name right now to be sure that he still qualifies for this league and trying to figure out where to put him on their team and to call him up.
Gonna burn it down in the grass here. I tell you what, if I had a team in the Truck Series right now, I'd be in his Discord direct messages right now.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job, especially there right at the end. Just hung in there the entire time with it.
He did a great job, and he showed poise and showed patience there towards the end. Didn't make too many bold moves. He made a few bold moves that were good ones, but he kept his cool and he came out the winner.
Well, I don't see him out in the Discord chat at all. I'm just double checking that I'm not missing him, but I don't see him out there, so I'm not sure we're going to get to interview him this evening. But let's pull up our race results and talk about those a little bit. My goodness, Jose Castellanos in first place as an independent, and then Jack Johnson from Jonathan Byer Racing in second, Adam Boltemeyer, an independent, in third, and Byron McDonald from Rev Racing in fourth.
And we had Andrew Klickner in fifth as an independent. We had Cole Martin from Bronco Motorsports in sixth. Excuse me. Josh Mueller for Tank Racing in seventh, and Nathan Nixon for Rev Racing in eighth.
Brandon Deming, an independent, led a lot of this race after some great pit strategy. He's up in ninth. Andrew Harris in 10th for Bronco Motorsports. Corey Saucier and Jason Kratke, both from R&D Motorsports, in 11th and 12th.
We had Josh Witt from H2K Motorsports, Cody Riggs in the 224 for Red Racing, and Walter Lepicki in Tank Racing, and also Jeremy Duncan in Tank Racing in 16th.
David Swift from H2K Motorsports in 17th. Lance Sponberg in 18th. He's an independent. And then we get these guys that are a few laps down. So Brian Crocker, who led some of this race, in 19th. And then Justin Kruckman in 20th for H2K. So, man, fantastic race up there. Let's see who we do have up there in the chat. Let me see if possible we have some of these guys that we can pull in and find out what they're thinking.
I believe Jack Johnson's in the Discord.
Yeah, let's see if we can grab Jack Johnson and pull him in. Jack Johnson, this is Sean and Tim up in the booth. How's it going, buddy?
Good, how you doing?
Man, doing fantastic. That was a killer race at the end. Lots of side-by-side driving, all sorts of crazy things.
Yeah, this is my first league race. This was very exciting, I'll say that.
Well, man, it looks like you've hooked up with Jonathan Byer Racing. Jonathan Byer, a really, really great driver, and so there's a lot to learn from him, and this team aspect is going to be a lot of fun as well. What have you already learned from your teammates?
So me and I think Kevin or Kyle were up there. And he got wrecked out, unfortunately, but me and him, a couple starts there, were able to get going on the green and hook up front. We were first and second there for a little bit. That was cool.
Yeah, man, it was a lot of fun to watch. I just really, really enjoyed, especially those last 10 to 15 laps. You guys just could do no wrong. Nobody could get away from anybody else. But you seem to be really consistent the entire race. I mean, you qualified well, you raced well. What is it about Auto Club that you found?
I like how wide this track is. It's just about being smooth in, smooth out. How wide it is. You just got plenty of room not to worry about anything around you. It's a lot of fun.
Well, man, we're definitely happy to have you, and I can't wait to see what you do during the regular season as well. So definitely come back, and we'll do it again next week. But we've got the regular season starting up on January 6th. I hope you're ready for it.
So ready for it. I'll see you guys next week.
All right, buddy. You take it easy.
Have a good night.
Good one.
All right. I think that's all the top three that we actually have in the building right now. So I think we'll pretty much kind of leave it with that as it sits. Now, next week we do have a race, same time, and we will be hosting that, or we will be broadcasting that race as well, so be on the lookout for that. But also tomorrow night, we are right back here at Auto Club for the Xfinity race. And so definitely, if you're out there watching this, hit the subscribe button. Come back and join us tomorrow for that Xfinity race, because it's going to be just as exciting. And Tim, man, thank you so much for being up in the booth with me tonight.
Yeah, not a problem. I enjoyed watching and I enjoyed commentating, and hopefully we can do this again soon.
We definitely will. So everybody come on back tomorrow night for the Xfinity race, Sunday night for the Cup race, and then next Wednesday night, we are right back on the track with these trucks once again. So for myself, Sean Griffith, and Timothy Latham, as well as the admins of the Speed Racing Network, thank you guys for watching, and we will see you tomorrow night.